These ideas just
I can't believe this is all off the top of your head.
Come to your, yeah.
It just comes to me. Yeah. We're drinking bourbons again.
Do we have is there a theme at all to this one?
This is
just 3 random leftovers.
This is like watching the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And you're going to have all of our eyes close up.
I'll do my best.
A 3-way showdown of MGP.
Not recording in 4K or anything.
Yeah,
I should. Benny.
Could you tell the audience what MGP stands for? If they're like me and don't know what that means.
That's interesting. You might ask. Yeah. That would stand for Midwest Grain Products, which is out of Indiana, distills bourbon and sources it around the world.
We're seriously gonna have to re-record this. Hang on.
No,
because that the mic's right there. He's right behind you guys.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
This is gonna have a lot of outtakes in the first 5 minutes.
I'm gonna bite your butt.
This was the day Benny had enough.
Close the doors. No.
All right, hold on.
Okay, so you were asking.
Saddle up your horses, partners, and put your guns in their holsters, and make sure your spurs are fastened. Because for tonight, we're gonna do a little bit of a 3-way MGP showdown.
Yeah, that was a nice little bow you tied onto that one, Cody. Not bad.
Yeah, that was good.
So, what was your question, Ricky?
So, if you're like me and ignorant of bourbon, what does MGP stand for?
Midwest Grain Products is a distillery out of Indiana that sources a lot of their whiskey to around the world. So sometimes you might see something that says it is, this is Old Scout Smooth Ambler. Well, okay, so it's their whiskey. No, it's not. They take the distillate from MGP, and then they can do whatever they want with it from there. They can put it in other things and finish it that way, or age it however long, and it's their bourbon, but it's sourced from there. So they provide basically the source material for a lot of places. And it has similar kind of flavor to a lot of it.
Cheating!
No, sort of, kind of. Basically the biggest distillery, aren't they? I think in the world. Or at the very least for bourbon.
One of my favorites.
All right.
One of them's maybe a little less expensive than the other two. Maybe slightly out of place, but it's not that much.
That's all right. That's okay.
No, it's not, Adrian.
Okay, it's
not. We have a very discriminating audience.
We're letting everyone down today. Okay, so left to right. I'm gonna do that as usual.
I'm gonna go middle to right to left.
As usual, I'm a little terrified of the prospects that these were actually ordered and arranged correctly and consistently per the instructions.
Wow, that smells like bourbon.
It's a common theme.
Vanilla, citrusy, kind of like orangey, maybe.
Very light and fresh.
It's
dill.
To me, it's kind of light and orangey is true. I would also add to that. I get actually a fair amount of hay. It's kind of a grassy straw hay kind of flavor here, or scent.
A little bit.
It seems a little on the lower proof side, but we're just starting.
A little bit of sweetness to it, but the palate mostly follows the nose.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, me too.
You do?
Yeah, of course. It seems like I like the lower proof stuff. I guess.
Don't assume things now.
What are your thoughts so far, though, Rick?
Yeah, very light, airy, refreshing, like sweet, fruity. Yeah, a little bit of that, like hay or something.
It might be. I think Cody said dill before. I think that I'm tasting it more than I'm smelling it. It could definitely be there. There's a little bit of a nuttiness on the back end, just a tiny bit. And it's actually I'm assuming this is fairly low proof, but it's pretty complex. I think it's packing a lot of flavor. I guess
Well,
is what I mean.
Vanilla, right there for me.
I don't feel that it's necessarily low proof, but
No, like, I don't mean low, like especially low. I just mean like we've had some bigger bombs before. This doesn't
vanilla,
match those.
oaky, dill, rye spices, like orange citrus, orange zest maybe. That's what I get out of it, but I assume it'll probably be similar for all these because I usually get kind of a similar thing with a lot of MGP stuff. But and that like it's got kind of like an artificial sweetness kind of taste to it. To me. Not bad.
It's like a
not
stevia or something that's like a little bit.
I think of like a Flintstones chewable or something, like a kind of a chalky sweet kind of taste.
Interesting.
That's just the sweetness part of it. It's like a
I really like it.
Tablet kind of like a Pez or something kind of sweetness.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Strawberry Pez or
Can't
something.
quite go with you on that, but
It's
I know
like
what
slightly
you're getting.
chalky-ish sweet, artificial sort of, but it's not unpleasant. I feel like it is something that I know what it is because it reminds me of the lower version of it that is unpleasant to me, but this isn't.
Mm-hmm.
If it's what I'm thinking of, but regardless, it does have that sweetness to it.
As we sit here, the orange is what's lingering afterwards. Like the orange peel in particular is like kind of just resting on my tongue as
Like
I await the next
oil
sip.
from the peel sort of flavor.
So start
Alright.
sniffing that
Let's
middle
see.
guy, Rick.
Yeah, like almost a little like honey off of this one that I didn't in the last one. It's like they replaced that kind of sweetness that I was describing from the last one with like honey, maybe, I'm not sure.
Maybe lemongrass? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, that's fair.
Orange lemon still in the same like field, but like and still with the rye spice, but it's a little more muted, I think, in this one.
Yeah, this one's muted is appropriate. I would
With
say
the
compared to the
orange
first one, it's a little more muted. But now, of course, our tongues are coated in bourbon already, so now we're going to have a little bit of dullness, probably going from 1 to 2. But
I do get some oak.
I don't know if this is appropriate time to bring this up, but I do not have a palate cleanser. I don't know if that's something
I don't either. Oh, wait. Go ahead. Go get your glass of water.
Time out. Cut new there. But when the video starts, there's no water bottle. But then, a few minutes into it, he has a water bottle all of a sudden.
Gosh, these guys are unprofessional. Ooh, that did bring out a little more pop aroma. Yeah, a little bit. And now I'm getting a little bit of just a little bit of like a wintergreen mintiness, but I wasn't
Yeah, I
smelling
can see
before.
I was thinking
Yeah, like this
spearmint
one
or
compared to the
something.
first one. First one's definitely orangier and sweeter. This one's a little darker. And oakier, maybe? Alright.
Like, it's all in the mouth for me. I don't got anything like in the throat or anything. It's
I
just...
swirled that one around a lot on my tongue, and I got a little bit of cherry out of it.
Yeah.
Like a maraschino cherry, like a ice cream sundae type cherry.
A little bit more like red fruit. Then also a little citrus, but it's not as pronounced citrus.
It's not bad either. I like this one too.
The sensation of the first one was like had a lot more going on, it seemed like, than this one. This one's like a little more one note.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's like cherry, orange, oak, some rye spice. A little bit, I'd say, a little
Monica in my life.
off profile for MGP slightly. Or
How so?
it usually just falls very high with the rye and like the orangey. Sounds more like red fruit, and it's got a little bit of citrus, but Not quite as much rye spice, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what else. Cherry orange. It's not nearly as sweet as the first.
One other strange note I've been flirting with is that I think there's a little tiny bit of like a ginger. But yeah, mostly I'm gonna echo what you're saying, that it's a little more one note. There's a little bit, you bring in a little bit of the red fruit in there along with the citrus, which is a little downplayed compared to the first one. Kind of ends up being, the effect is actually a little more like watery or bland compared to the first one to me. Those are really negative terms, so I hesitate to use them, but yeah, it seems like it's a little more one note. So when we start smelling
the flavors are a little more
Not yet.
melded into one. Then like, oh, I get this and then this and then this. It's all just kind of like one even plain experience, sort of, than the first.
All right, let's go.
Get the orange again and some
That's,
rye and a little like dusty kind of smell, sort of. A little cinnamon, maybe.
Yeah, that's.
It's kind of like the first one, but if you like took out the sweetness and replaced it with like cinnamon, maybe.
Yeah, cinnamon, brown sugar, kind of a baking spice.
Still get, like I said, I still get the orange and like not much vanilla. It's like orange, cinnamon, oak, sort of, I think. Maybe a little vanilla.
Definitely orange on the tongue. It's all palate of orange there. There's a little alcohol pinch in the front of my tongue.
Yeah, it seems a little like younger. Like it's not aged quite as well. Like it's a little more ethanol-y.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know that it's higher proof. And a little thinner, I think, on the mouthfeel. But it's pretty good.
Whew.
Primarily orange, rye, and cinnamon,
That one
I
got
think.
some burn to it.
Yeah, I'd say this one could age a little longer, but I still really like it.
Yeah, it's a little young.
I still really like it. I might like it better than the second one. I like the flavors a little better.
I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but I would say this one has leaps and bounds more flavor than the second one. Of course, more flavor. It's not necessarily a quantity test as much as a quality test.
And this is definitely, like I said, I think on profile with MGP. I think it tastes a lot like the first one, but doesn't have that sweetness, and it's a little less developed in flavor, I think. It's really good. It smells really good.
Kind of reminds me of like pancakes, like pancake batter. It's like not overtly sweet, but kind of sweet as a byproduct of the ingredients.
A little oaky.
It smells to me
Cinnamon,
more oaky than
orange.
it tastes on 3.
It's pretty good. It's a little. The only thing I'd say about it, is that these a couple more years aging, like a little burn to it.
How's it going, guys?
It's going great.
Find ourselves here in the intermission, and Bentley's up there, probably scratching the door.
My mouth is like slightly numb.
Ricky, you've been a real champ, Ricky. You're not a bourbon person. You're not an alcohol person.
Look at this third wheel over here.
Look how far he's come.
He said like all the bourbons in the world, and he's like, I don't even like this. This is stupid.
It's not true.
You can go to people and be like, I've had that bourbon.
There you go, Ricky. There you go. You go to a cocktail party or something like that. They got some good bourbons floating around. You'd be like, oh yeah, I've had that. What's that?
Oh, Knob Creek.
Oh, Elmer T. Lee. Yeah, don't worry.
Redbreast 12 cask strength. Yeah, it's not bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, didn't do much for me. I have a refined palate, so.
And then he'll talk about it. He'll get too confident in himself. He'll be like, Redbreast 12, yeah, it's like a lot of.
I didn't like it as much as Mad Dog.
It was like waffle fries and powdered sugar.
Yeah. Maybe some
and some cardamom seeds and
cheddar cheese, the shredded kind, pre-packaged shredded
got
cheddar
that
cheese.
How'd you get back down here?
twang of.
How'd you get back down here, little baby? Let's start this back up.
All right, time to get back to business. Ooh, this is like, I feel like this one got like sweeter to me. Sugary.
Yeah, this is like drinking orange juice at this point. It's like very sweet, almost candy sugar, and or like a Jolly Rancher orange, and it's sweet. It's a little runny, maybe a little bit of that brass, maybe a little bit even of youngness, but didn't hit me that way originally. But
I think I'm evolving a little bit because I think normally something like this would be like my favorite of the bunch, but I kind of wish I had a bit more going for it as far as like maybe complexity or.
Okay. This one doesn't have like the oakiness of the other two.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a little bit of
Get a decent
overly
oakiness from me, but yeah, it's really sweet. But
Okay, just contradict everything you just said. Okay.
but
Wow.
it's really bold with the flavors that MGP tends to have. It's very orangey, very rye spice.
No,
really
forget.
sweet.
Claire wrote the book. Claire wrote the book on bourbon.
Let me take
this
my
is Cody's
notepad
private
out.
cellar bourbon. You made it here in the basement.
Nothing unpleasant about it. Sweet, rye, orange, a little vanilla, a little oak.
Moving on to numero dos. Yeah, definitely subtle in this, as far as scent goes.
Everything about number 2, it's like so
Get a little more brown sugar on this one, I think.
subdued. Like I do get a little bit of the alcohol fume that seeps into the front of my tongue at the very end. But otherwise, it's like smooth. It's somewhat sweet, somewhat oaky. But yeah, it's like one synergized flavor as opposed to, after a couple of seconds you get this extra depth. A couple more seconds you get a little bit of this note that you didn't taste before. It seems like a lot more. It's like a concentrated, uniform flavor, which isn't bad. It's just, and it's probably, so far of the 3, the only one I haven't described as being like kind of a little bit of a young flavor to it. This one's probably lacking that, which is good usually. But
It burns bright and then fades away.
You want to say? I'm
it's
not.
like honeycomb, a little bit of rye in the back end.
Yeah, like a little brown sugar, a little cherry, but I want to say that. Let's say maybe like a lemon zest or something. Not like an actual lemon, but like bitter, like lemon skin flavor, maybe.
There's like another sip of 1 right after having a sip of 2. The amount of rye in 1 is just
Yeah.
not even comparable. So that gives it some character.
It's got more layers of flavor in 1 than 2.
And it just kind of like fizzes out. Yeah, I mean, these are all good. If you would have handed me these in a bar, I'd be like, these are all good. But like when you're sitting there and then like scrutinizing them,
Comparing and contrasting.
yeah,
Thing will be whether I like 2 or 3 better. I feel like 3 definitely, it does smell a little bit younger than 2, but I like the aroma that I get from it more. It's a little brighter and more pronounced. And bright citrus, vanilla orange rye. Well, it's what I said for 1, 2, but yeah, like, also is young and hot. Way like hotter, burny, more ethanol than number 2. But I still think I enjoy it a little bit more. The flavors are just more bright and pronounced, and
it's more like energetic. This is like a
there's more
lively,
to it.
It's a lively bourbon.
It's not as boring.
we go back to back. I'm gonna go backsies to backsies, Ricky. Ass to ass, okay?
Okay. think I got my order.
Really close. He's definitely more refined. Let me go back to one.
Mine might be different from your guys's, but that's just because.
Well, if you've made up your mind, Rick, what is it?
Okay, so my number one for me is number one, and that's just because I like the lighter stuff. And then 2, and then 3.
One, so 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
I'm gonna go 1, 3, 2.
I will as well. I think I know which ones are which.
I just have a hard time getting comfortable with anything that just burns my throat.
Rick's a connoisseur. He knows
Well,
which
okay,
ones are
so
more
what-
pricey.
So why do you like 2 more than 3?
Like it is more subtle, but just the burn of number 3,
Okay.
and 2 is just like I know the flavor is kind of like it comes and goes, but I don't know. I just like it better than 3. It's hard to describe, but like specifically as far as like the individual notes and stuff, but.
Would you agree that 2 and 3 are probably the most similar of the 3?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So
maybe that kind of helped one stick out.
yeah, I always worry about that I'm giving the one that stood out the most points by default.
I feel like 1 and 3 for me were the most similar. Like,
Really?
I feel like the flavors are the most alike. It's just you kind of change like hotness on 3 for sweetness on 1. But I think like you get like the really high rye and really high orange on both of them, whereas I get like some like cherry or something on number 2 that I don't get on the others.
I'm not getting high rye on 3 like at all, but that you would know better than me for sure. But I get some rye, but to me, like 1, it's unmistakable. There's like a high rye presence, but 3 that doesn't jump out at me as much. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. All right, Ricky, why don't you show us what
3
we're
and 2 are really
playing
close.
with here?
I feel like 2 is more expensive, but I just like the flavors of 3.
So number 1 is RHR.
Redemption High Bourbon. Is that what that is?
Rye.
2 is SAOS.
Smooth or Old Scout. Smooth Ambler Old Scout.
3 is BB.
Backbone. Okay.
It doesn't seem right.
Oh, here we go.
And whatever. Guess I'm just wrong.
They
but
stayed on the paper.
it's weird. Unless I put them in the wrong order.
Sure.
Oh, unless I put them in the wrong order, Cody says.
All right. Little power outage there. Sorry, everybody. So.
It's good.
I guess maybe it just tastes better out of the bottle than in a Glencairn.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we lost our footage for this, but Ricky revealed.
So 1 was Redemption High Rye Bourbon. Number 2 was SAOS, which is Old Scout.
Smooth Ambler Old Scout.
Number 3 is BB Belmont
Backbone Bourbon.
Backbone Bourbon.
All 3 are store picks. Cody, I know, was expressing as I shot up to fix the camera that he was
Some
surprised
doubt,
that they were
maybe?
that order. What order did you think it was, Cody?
I thought it was Old Scout, the first one, because I thought I had, especially on the...
Well, it's definitely not Old Scout.
Wow. So I definitely have the, not the single barrel over there.
Drink it from the bottle, Adrian. You'd be like, yep, it's definitely number 1.
No, the Redemption was.
Yeah.
I agree, but from the not single barrel, I also get that like chalky sweet thing going, a lot more so on the regular. And I thought I got that on the single barrel as well, just not as terribly sweet.
We have to.
You boozer.
If the results come out incorrect, we have to have a recount.
Which is just his excuse all along to drink more.
Yeah, I guess we're right.
Oh, did we get it right? Thank you, Cody.
I remember that one being this hot. I mean, I still like them both about equally.
I mean, to me, those two were the close ones, Backbone and Smooth Ambler. And one, I'm assuming the Redemption High Rye Bourbon is not considered on the same level as those other two, but I like it.
As I said, I liked it when I bought it. Especially it's like $45
Yeah.
for that and rare breed.
I think I paid $42 for mine. I haven't opened it yet, but that's a steal. If you see a blue label Redemption High Rye Bourbon and it's under $50, grab you some. And this, so what? Old Scout goes for what?
$55.
And Backbone?
I got it for $55, but usually it seems like it's more than that. 55 to 65.
Help me understand.
Backbone's probably normally the most expensive.
So I thought, didn't you guys say like you can't really, as far as the alcohol percentage, like you can't really get it down to like specific, like by like 0.05?
No, you can.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? I don't know.
Wait,
I guess I
what is
misheard
it?
you. So Backbone's 57.95% alcohol level.
That's more specific than they normally are, but you can get as specific as you want.
Old Scout is 57.8. So yeah, the first one is 52.5. So it's definitely less than.
So I need some more Redemption High Rye is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean it
Sure
goes
do,
down
sir.
nice and easy. No.
Man, you have a lot left on 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is a young bourbon right here.
It is really close between 2 and 3. The 3 is
We kept saying that this tasted younger, and it's definitely not.
Damn, I kind of.
What
Some
is this,
reason-
what are we aged here?
I don't actually know about Backbone.
Drinking bourbon makes me want to play Red Dead Redemption again.
This is barreled.
2.
This is aged 5.
Yeah, so
Barreled in
both
15,
5 and then
bottled in 20.
Redemption's like 4.
What about this one, Smooth Ambler?
I think it's 5.
5 years. So same aging, and then this one's 4 years. So we're trying. Okay, we're trying. We're trying to get good at this. It takes time. It takes time.
Man, I just love all those little black floaties in here.
I'm still trying to decide like how to prioritize like when I think what is better than the other, because we're distinctly liking the Old Scout the best out of these. I know, part of that's probably what you're having when you pour it, and you have expectations.
That's why we do these. Yeah.
But I feel like a kind of a mix of the two needs to be considered as well, not just one or the other. You know what I mean? You taste differently on different nights, and
Yeah. Well, and also I was gonna say these are. I mean, they're single barrels. Like this could taste young because of the specific barrel that was picked. Like.
I just mean like I
probably wrong.
swear to God, like I definitely have tried them back to back. I'm like I like this one better, and then I do blind and it's different, and so some kind of like combination of those things works. But I am surprised that I picked.
Well, you're not the only
Redemption.
one, Cody. I mean, how many reviewers have that same experience? And it's just part of why we do. It's why we do.
You think you know something?
Have we tried the?
Go ahead.
Tonight,
All right,
we
welcome, guys.
Tonight we take you on a magical mystery adventure tour up the magical.
You didn't think that one out, did you?
We take you through a magical tour as we go sliding down Splash Mountain, and as you stand nearby, as the amber splashes of bourbon hit your taste buds and your ears, and you can see what we're drinking. I want to
Never let this man go on without
one
a script.
I want to do like 4 of those, and it's just gonna be like it's gonna be one of them, and then it's just gonna be like boom, and then it's gonna be the next one. And like one of these will be good. Tonight we
Well, keep
travel
going, I
you
guess.
through a mystery of neighbors who killed not
You
through
want to jot some ideas down
who
first?
killed not through violence, but through excess of flavor.
Beautiful ad-libbing, Cody.